Looks like Arctic Cat is hitting back for 2026. We went from a company closing its factory doors to releasing a whole 2026 lineup. Let's go check it out. When these came out, I actually recognized these right away. So what these slides are, these are actually dealer training template slides. So they would do this when we get like a new unit or like a new training in like some sort of mechanical practice that we're doing on sleds. They would use this exact template to release the training videos on the new stuff. It looks like Snowgoer was the first to leak a lot of this stuff, but like this is exciting stuff. Like with Yamaha exiting the market and stuff like that, really it was down to just Do and Polaris. Either you're gonna buy yourself a new Do or a new Polaris next year, which was really kind of sad to me to just have the only two players in the market be Do and Polaris and not have like a third party to come in and shake things up. We all know that Yamaha exited the market just this year. Just this year, they made their last production snowmobile. And up to just a few weeks ago, we thought Arctic Cat was going to go that way too. But that all changed just recently. So it's nice to still have Arctic Cat as a player in the game. When you think about how many like snowmobile manufacturers there used to be in the market, it is down to like, we're down to 2 or 3 now. Let's check it out. Let's see how many snowmobile production manufacturers they were, because there's like Snowjet, Kawasaki. There's lots of companies that just don't do it anymore. So this is a post from 2016, and found this post, 250 sled manufacturers of the time. Wow, quite a long list of manufacturers that are no longer making snowmobiles. I was going to name all of these, but now I'm realizing how many there are. A lot of these I've never heard of. I'm more thinking about the big player names usually when I'm thinking about this. It was just released a few months back that Cat would be closing their doors to their factory and they would not be releasing their whole 2025 lineup, let alone a 2026 lineup. Well, there was a lot of rumors going around that maybe CF Moto was going to buy them, maybe John Deere was going to buy them, maybe Argo was going to buy them, just to name a few. Those are the credible ones. I honestly thought it was going to be CF Moto. That's what made sense to me to break into the snowmobile world. But instead, we actually had Argo by Arctic Cat. And if you didn't know, the previous CEO from Arctic Cat now works at Argo. So now we have the same CEO prior to 2016, back controlling the Cat brand. Let's check out the lineup for 2026 because Arctic Cat's been kind of leaking a little bit here and there. Snowgoers had some information, but over the last week or so especially, there's been information slowly trickling out that all led up to opening up a pre-order for 2026. So let's check it out. What does Cat have in store for us for 2026? I'm just on their Facebook page, so this is all just completely public information. I don't believe Arctic Cat has any pricing available. No, in fact, it looks like Arctic Cat's website is in need of updating. It looks like that's what they're working on right now. I'm honestly just going to skip right to it. The biggest thing that probably nobody is talking about is the fact that we now have dual rail options again for Arctic Cat in 2026. And that's a pretty big deal. Arctic Cat hasn't offered a dual track mountain sled in North America for the past 5 years. So they're finally listening. They're finally coming back and offering now some dual rail options for their mountain lineup. So let's check it out. So I am super happy to see that they're not tying everything up into that Alpha Skid this year again. So what we have for dual rail options this year is 2 different options. So we're looking at here, this is the HCX. So this comes with a nice 146 short track. It's the way the industry's been moving. People are choosing to go with smaller, more lightweight sleds and just push them because they're becoming so much more capable. We also have this sporty looking HCR on a 154 track with a 2.6 lug. So we got the HCR and the HCX. We have the Hardcore Extreme as well as the Hill Climb Racer coming in this year for dual rail options for the Cat, which is awesome to see. I'm so glad that they are embracing the fact that some of us just want a Cat on a dual rail skid. So it's awesome to see them catering or at least giving people that option. So not all their models are just those Snow Pro models. we have an HCX and an HCR with these beefed up rail systems, it says, that is going to give riders that option on those cats to go back to a dual rail setup. This is the Snow Pro that's available for the year, available in the 600 and the 858. There isn't like a total spec sheet available at the time of me doing this video, but we can see that there are a few options for the M series running on the 154, on the 165, as well as a few different options for the gauge there too. We either get the sport gauge or you can upgrade to that more fancy one. I am super happy to see Cat come back this year and offer us a dual rail option for the people that want it. I understand why Cat has really pushed this alpha technology. It's a piece of their own proprietary technology. They've got all this time and effort into it in R&D, marketing, and it is a cool piece of technology. So having said that, the last few years, they've only, in North America anyway, offered mountain models with that alpha suspension. So they said to a lot of people until just recently, until just this year, that, hey, if you want a mountain sled from Cat, it's got to be an alpha. So if you don't like the alpha system, that's too bad. So even though we have this awesome piece of technology that does work really well, what it kind of did was say, even for these old school Cat fans especially, was saying that, hey, if you want an M, it's got to be an alpha. That's it. Which ended up pushing a lot of people away. People who did have the alpha and didn't like it were stuck like switching out to a float action skid or a K-mod skid. And then there's also some people who had the alpha who had to like go as far as like bracing the beam, bracing the nose piece, putting in big idler wheels, putting in a scissor mount, putting in a through bolt kit, putting a tip brake brace on, putting in a full brace, putting in a front shock mount upgrade, welding the rear cap, putting in a new track, and more. I think putting out a dual rail option is totally smart. I think you're going to get some of those guys back, especially some of those guys for the past 5 years who are absolutely die-hard Cat guys, but they just didn't want to run that alpha skid for the last 5 years. Arctic Cat has opened up a short pre-order. We have pre-order, I think, until the 16th here of May this month. The trick with Cat is going to be this year is pricing them right. And I've called around to dealers a little bit, and I can tell you that most of these sleds that we see here, the two strokes, the 858s, whether it's an HCR or a Snow Pro, we're all looking around that 24,000 mark, and that's Canadian. But what Cat is offering this year with them is a 3-year warranty. So you get 3 years of full warranty on the sled. I have ridden one of these things before. On the Alpha, it was a 600. It did work really well. I was actually really impressed what it could do. In a lot of ways, I kind of felt like that sled it really just kind of rode itself. The trick really is going to be getting him in people's hands. The offer has to be super enticing. People have to see them out there. They have to see them in videos. They have to see these things shredding to go back, to even think about going back to a Cat over like a Polaris or a Do or something that has a strong footing in the market. So let's check out what else that Cat's got lined up here for 2026 here. The EXT Special, that's cool. That is a total throwback. We got some classic colors here. That's actually a pretty sharp looking unit. I like that. And then this one is kind of like a little bit of a unicorn here. This is the Thundercat. So this is still on the old chassis here. I didn't know that they're still putting the Thundercat on the old chassis. I think with the departure of Yamaha from the market here, Arctic Cat, we're going to see them fill a few of these small niche holes like the 4-stroke. It's not a big niche hole because there isn't like a whole lot of people who really into that 4-stroke sled, but I think Arctic Cat is really going to slip into the market and fill up that hole, especially with all like the partnership and stuff that they've done with Yamaha. I think a lot of their engine tech is Yamaha tech. So that's where I think Arctic Cat will be like filling a little bit more of the market where Yamaha left off. And then we have the little kitty cat. You guys remember the kitty cat? Let's look up the kitty cat. So this is the kitty cat. This is probably the paint job I see the most. So they've decided that this year they're going to bring it back, the kitty cat, on the 120 body, but they're only bringing it back for this 1 year. A couple years ago, actually a number of years ago, they started making a 200 youth sled. It's basically a kid sled, and it was tough, I think, for parents to buy that 120, knowing that the 200 was literally just around the corner, probably the next year even. So we're going to see the ZR 120 go out as a kitty cat, it looks like. This is nice. I like this. Everything is neat. We got like a nice refined launch here. There isn't too much stuff. We didn't pack it full of like too many things or too many letters like we have down here. We have the, for example, the M8. Actually, I don't even know if this is an M. Do they even call these M's? We have the HCR HCX. I didn't even put on my festive hat. Check this thing out. I'm feeling festive. Huh? I found this gem in one of the many snowmobiles, one of the many project units that we buy around these parts. So we got an HCX 858 instead of a Patriot Boost Rocky Mountain King Chaos Matrix / 155. And then over here we got the HCR. Okay, Arctic Cat. I have not made a cat video in a little while because I haven't been like super excited about them until like just recently. But here's what your job is, Arctic Cat. Your job is to shake things up in the industry. That is all we need to do. Let's take it back to those checkered flag days where Arctic Cat was like king of the circuit. Let's get back to that. Like the Textron acquisition kind of like it kind of fizzled. Like there was so much confusion in the beginning, and kind of Textron, I think they just wanted their name on stuff. So that, like they pulled in the beginning, they pulled their name off the Arctic Cat brand ATVs. So we had Textron stuff, and then we were wondering if Textron was going to pull the cat name off the sleds too. And then they had these XR quads that then they renamed those to Altera, so they were XR only for that 1 year. This is all like 2018 era. The side by sides were a mess. They integrated I think the Stampede and the Havoc into their line, and these side by sides were just always playing catch up. Textron makes military hardware. So kind of from what I've heard is what Textron was really after was just the manufacturing capacity of Arctic Cat. I think they thought Arctic Cat was a little more of a turnkey operation when at that time they already needed like new leadership, and that's just not what Textron was going to bring to the table. But as you guys know here, every time there's new sleds dropped on the market, we like to look at them. We like to critique. Everybody gets it equal. Every brand gets it equally. I'm a Cat fan, obviously. They just make it hard to be excited about sometimes. Like you remember when they first released the Catalyst they only had the 600 available for the first year of the Catalyst. Let's see if I can find it. It's one of my videos. They had like at Heydays the big presentation. They had the presenter like release the sled and all that, and then like who's buying one? And then like crowd of 100 people or hundreds of people, one guy in the back, yeah. Where is it? Do I not?
Let's get after it. From that chain case design.
I can't find it. I don't remember what video it was in. Anyway, I am loving it. I would love to know what you guys think. I feel like what they're really not talking about, like the biggest thing is that Cat's going back and giving us the option for a dual rail mountain sled. I think that is totally smart, and it's like the biggest thing nobody's even talking about right now with Cat. I want to be optimistic, but I was really optimistic when Textron bought Cat in like 2017 there. So what I'd really like to see is just the Cat is back. I think that's all my thinks and thoughts gathered here in one location. I would love to know what you guys are thinking about this. I haven't seen like a lot of talk about this, which has been kind of surprising. Arctic Cat's pre-order is open now, and it's open for the next 10 days here. So they're doing a short pre-order. So if you guys want one of these things, you got to call your dealer. You got to get your name on the list. You got to get it paid for, and you got to get one in. I think that's all I got for this video. If you guys are looking for some summer sled content, I am currently rebuilding a Ski-Doo triple in the shop. So we will get back to that soon. but got some other fun summer stuff planned coming up. That's all I got for today's video, though. If you liked today's video, go ahead and leave that like. Let me know down in the comments if any of you are thinking about ordering one, or if you have ordered one, let me know down in the comments, because I'm super interested to see how many people are going to be ordering one of these units, because they are pricey, but they do have you know, some cool incentives involved too. You can check out that build video right here, right now, or you can check out some other fun stuff. And we'll see everybody in the next video really soon. Bye, everybody. I've already been into the exhaust.